Yeah, good evening, everyone. This is Mohan Gudishe, Faculty of Perspectives in Education, and this particular lecture it is in the history of Indian education system. So, for DSC, AP DSC, it is the pre-Vedic and post-Vedic education periods. So that's we are going to discuss about the ancient education system in India. So, uh, let us discuss about the ancient Indian education system. So, it is broadly categorized pre-Vedic period and post-Vedic period. In pre-Vedic period, like early Vedic period and later Vedic period, post-Vedic period. So, pre-Vedic period starting with 3000 to 1500 BCE, it is an informal education focused on survival skills, and early Vedic period 1500 to 1000 BCE, oral tradition of learning began, and later Vedic period 1000 to 600 BCE. It is a formation of formal education system. Then post-Vedic period, it is 600 BCE onwards, established the center of learning emerged. So let us discuss one by one. So features of Vedic pre-Vedic period education. It is the nature-centered learning, then practical knowledge of transfer, community-based and survival skills. So, nature centric learning, observation of natural phenomena, guided education, practical knowledge transfer, hunting, gathering, farming skills passed away. Then, community based. So, tribal elders served as a first teachers. Then, survival skill, focus on knowledge essential for existence. So, these are the features of pre Vedic period of education. So basically it is the nature centric learning. So the student has to learn in the nature, and it is the totally practical, the knowledge how to hunt, how to gather the food, and how to form the things, and the skills are passed from one generation to other. It is a community based. So basically in pre-Vedic period, so the mostly the tribals was there. So the tribal leaders as the served as a first teachers, then survival skills. So as during that pre-Vedic period, so people are residing in forest and caves, so they need to survive. So how to exist, that is the main thing. So they are going to, they learned about the survival skills in pre-Vedic skills. Okay, is a pre-Vedic period education. Then aims of education in pre-Vedic period. So one is practical survival, character development, social interaction, and self-realization. So the main aim of education in pre-Vedic period, first of all, the practical survival. So you have to survive from the animals and enemies and natural calamities. Then second thing, character development. So it is like building moral strength and discipline. Social interaction, so how you are going to be interact with the in the society as a youth, that is the main thing. Then self realization, so in which one has to realize what is the role in his nature, in this nature. This is the aims of education in pre-Vedic period. So what is the curriculum was there in pre-Vedic period? It is nature study, agriculture, crafts, hunting. So, what is nature study? Like they are going to observe the stars, seasons, weather patterns. In agriculture, uh, the curriculum is crop cycles, in which season what they want to sow, and irrigation techniques, how the water can be taken for that, and crafts, pottery, weaving, tool making, and hunting like uh, tracking, weapons making, etc. It is the curriculum of pre-Vedic period. Then methods of teaching in pre-Vedic era. One is observation, second one is imitation, oral transmission, hands-on practice. So methods of teaching in pre-Vedic period is observation. So they have to observe the elders, and the elders are like from the elders, the younger generation will observe, the youth will observe. Then imitation, what they observe, then they will imitate how the elders are doing, well, how the community elders are doing, and how they are working. The same way this young generation follows. Then oral transmission. So basically in pre-Vedic period, the oral transmission. So that time there is no pen and paper or digital formation. So totally it is oral. The stories are telling by the elders, and songs, myths conveyed knowledge. So it is a orally transmission, the hands-on experience. So they are exposed to direct with the work, with the real life situation they are going to learn. So the methods of teaching in pre-Vedic period is, one is observation, second one is imitation, third one is oral transmission, and hands-on practice. This is the methods of teaching in pre-Vedic era. Then uh, again, the Gurukula system was introduced in this particular era only, where residential learning. The students lived with the teachers for years. So the student is not sitting at home, but he is going to be the student is going to be reside with the teachers for few number of years. Then it is the teacher center or guru centric. It is everything controlled and administered by the uh, teacher, guru. Then holistic education, they are going to learn in the like academic, moral, physical training, everything it is going to be covered in Gurukula system. Then simple living. Okay, in Gurukula system there is simple living, discipline, austerity emphasized. So these are about the Gurukula system in pre-Vedic education era. Then, what is the relationship between teacher and student relationship in pre-Vedic times? So, the teacher called as a guru and student called as a shishya. So, the teacher has a absolute authority, so nobody can question the teacher's authority. Then he is the knowledge keeper and moral guide and spiritual mentor. And Shishya, the student will be the complete, he is going to be complete obedience to the teacher, and Shishya has to serve the Guru, and he is dedicated for the learning and self discipline. So these are the student teacher student relationship. Okay, then transition pre-Vedic to post-Vedic period. So how the transition takes place from pre-Vedic to post-Vedic period. It is the informal tribal education, then like the education system like community based practical knowledge, then early Vedic period oral tradition memorization of uh, hymns, then former Gurukula system, then established learning centers. How the transition takes place is mostly in pre-Vedic period. It is a total informal tribal education. It is the teaching done in community based, and particular community teaches, the leader teaches to their community members. Then in early Vedic period, so there is a formal education like oral traditions, memorization of hymns, something like that. In formal Gurukula system, structured curriculum, there is a particular curriculum is there. There more emphasis on philosophy. Then after that, in post-Vedic period, they established learning centers. So specialized knowledge, broader accessibility, etc. So this is a transition from informal tribal education to established learning centers. Then features of post-Vedic period education. Okay, what is the features of post-Vedic education period is like institutional structure. So after like pre-Vedic, there is a post-Vedic. The institutions are formal education centers established, then written text, specialized teachers, and international recognition. So the institutions are established in a formal way. So the education centers are established, and next slides we are going to learn which institution they established and written text. So in pre-Vedic period, there it is totally in oral, and written text was the manuscripts replaced by oral tradition and specialized teachers. So it is not on community based. The education is given by the expert in specific branches of knowledge, then international recognition. So in post-Vedic period, students from other foreign lands come to India to get the education. So you can see the ancient Indian university. So curriculum in post-Vedic period. So what was there in post-Vedic period? Okay, post-Vedic period is like four Vedas. Okay, what is the Brahmanas, Aranyakas, etc. Darshanas, six schools of thought. Then languages in post-Vedic period: Sanskrit, grammar, literature, poetry, sciences, mathematics, astronomy, medicines. So this is the post-Vedic period curriculum. One is Vedic literature, then darshanas, languages, sciences. This is the uh, curriculum. Vedic literature, what? There is a four Vedas, then Brahmanas, Aranyakas. Then darshanas means philosophy. Six schools of thought. Languages, what was there? Sanskrit, grammar, literature, poetry, and science. What is the science consist of? Mathematics, astronomy, and medicines. So there is a four famous centers of education is there in India in post Vedic period. Uh, Takshila, Nalanda, Vikramashila. So Takshashila, world's oldest university, established in 700 BCE, and in Takshila specifically mentioned about the medicines, arts, warfares, etc. They taught in Takshashila. Then it comes to the Nalanda. This is also university of post-Vedic period, flourished from 5th to 12th century CE. Around more than 10,000 students was there, and 2000 teachers were there. Okay, this is the important, you should know what is the famous centers of education post uh, Vedic period is Takshashila, Nalanda, and Vikramashila. It is the Vikramashila is founded by the King Dharmapala, where Buddhist studies, logic, grammar, etc. is given. So remember this: Takshashila, Nalanda, Vikrama. Shila is the famous centers of education. Then roles of women in education. So in early Vedic period, so in the what is the role there in Vedic period? Like this Vedic period divide into early Vedic period, later Vedic period, post Vedic period. So in early Vedic period, there is a equal access to women along with the men, and in this particular era, early Vedic era, the women scholars like Gargi was famous, and even Upanayana, the ceremony for girls also there. The Upanayana is there for the girls in early Vedic period. If you observe in later Vedic period, then there is a restrictions for the girls or women. Then some women's philosophical debates are there. Then ritual increasingly male only. For the any rituals they conducted only for the male and not female. Then post Vedic period there is a limited access for the women, and few exceptional cases are there like Gargi and all those stuff. Then they emphasized mostly uh, domestic education for the women, not outwardly education. Some of the exceptions are there, that is a different, but basically they conducted the education, domestic related education given to the women in post Vedic period. So gradually the importance, the education is decreased from early Vedic period to post Vedic period to the women. So you should remember this. Then, so what is the teaching methods were there in post Vedic period? So here you can observe Shravan means listening. So one has to attentively hear the teacher's knowledge. Mananam. So there is a one has to mananam. So deep contemplation of on learning material. Nidhi dhyasanam. Then whatever they listen, they has to be uh, uh, mananam. Then after that, nidhi dhyasanam, meditation. So you have to internalize the knowledge through meditation. Then shashrat means debate. So testing understanding through scholarly debates. So these are the methods: shravana, manana, nidhi dhyasanam, shashrat. So these are the like listening, reflection, meditation, debate. These are the post Vedic period. It is the methods of teaching. Then like there is a in post Vedic system, there is a caste system is come into picture. Okay, the society is divided into uh, brahmanas, kshatriyas, vaishyas and shudras. Brahmanas, so they will, in there's a topmost people in the hierarchy, they'll get the full access to all the knowledge. Okay, them kshatriyas, but these people is going to get the permit to military arts, administration, limited Vedic study. In third, vaishyas, so they are permitted, so they have the access to do commerce, agriculture, restricted for higher learning. So shudras, so they have given only practical skills, no literacy skills are given to them. And the Vedic education is prohibited to the Shudras. So all the access given to the Brahmanas, and some of the access given to the Kshatriyas, and some of the access given to the Vaishyas, and for Shudras they are not given any access to the education, but they make them as a workers, and Vedic education is prohibited. Then role of religion and philosophy in education. So education inseparable from the religious thought. So philosophically inquiry shape teaching methods. Different tradition offer diverse approach to learning. So this is about thing. Then how the see how the Vedic education system contribute to the Indian education system. So still we are using the Gurukula model of education system. Then teacher student bond, like teacher as a father role and student as a son role or their kids role. Holistic learning and moral education, debate traditions. So we are following the Indian education, like ancient education system still prevailing in our country. So comparison between pre-Vedic and post-Vedic education. So in pre-Vedic it is informal structure. In post-Vedic it is like the little bit of formal structure, like institutional structure. Then in pre-Vedic period, practical skills focus like hunting, doing agriculture, something like that. So in post-Vedic, it is a philosophical emphasis, and in pre-Vedic, it is oral tradition only. Then in post-Vedic, written texts are started. So writing is started here. It is like in pre-Vedic, it is a community-based teaching, and in post-Vedic, it is a guru center or teacher center education is there. And in pre-Vedic education, limited access, specialized knowledge. Then in post Vedic education, it is advanced specialized knowledge. Then legacy of ancient Indian education. So, how it is impacted our education system, like for our mode. So, like foundation for modern universities. Nalanda residential model influenced the global institutions. Then holistic educational philosophy, mind, body, spirit connected, still valued today, and teacher-student relationships, respect for the educator remains culture and cornerstone, and memorization techniques. Vedic period still method still we uses the memorization things like that. So how the ancient Indian education still continue uh, like whatever the rules and regulations and patterns still we are using, and how my how we can live with the peace of mind, and how that teacher student relationship established, and still there's a popular memorization techniques. Okay, then as a DSC aspirants, so what you have to expect, you should know the major institution name like Takshashila, Nalanda. Okay, they are going to ask in that one. And remember, what is the main difference between pre-Vedic practicals, and what is the post-Vedic philosophical thoughts, and like highlight the evaluation. So education, how it is developed slowly. Then when you're writing the answer, you should always connect with the past with the present. So what is the relevance is there in ancient methods of teaching. So in national education policy, it says about the pre-Vedic and post-Vedic systems. So in order to learn more about the philosophical thoughts and perspectives education, you can stay with this particular YouTube channel. I'll every day upload few of the uh, perspectives education lessons that is going to be helpful to get the teacher job of your desire. So thank you for listening my class. If you are really like my lecture, please subscribe and share it with your friends and relatives and co aspirants of teaching. Thank you.